Hey, how's it going out there, folks? Welcome back here to a Tuesday, official start of the work week. If you had a 3-day weekend off, it is about 11:35 a.m. here, California time, September 3rd, 2024. Latest activity here on the globe shows a 1.5 into Alaska. We're still seeing a little swarm of earthquake activity here, Baja California southward. Quite a bit of swarming going on here just off the tip of Baja California. And some further movement there from this morning into the Baja California area up north towards Southern California. So we're still keeping an eye there on the Southern California region for some further movement out here with all this recent activity nearby. A look at the last 24 hours here of earthquake activity on the map shows a handful of earthquakes out there, including one 3.5 this morning, 5 o'clock this morning here, just outside of the Long Valley supervolcano, north of Mount Tom area. This is a stress-related fracture earthquake. Looks like just about 6 miles here below the surface. Within the vicinity that seen a 2.9 here yesterday. So mountain ranges up here getting a little bit of strain due to all the stress out here against the plate boundary. Also 2.7, a little bit further south here near the Ridgecrest area. That's one of our recent swarming areas. And a handful of smaller quakes out here, as you can see on the map, in terms of microquake activity. Not a whole lot happening further south here for now, but don't let your guard down with this recent activity here around the region and the activity further south here. Good idea to be on guard today for some further movement. Just seen a lot of activity here recently. USGS reporting a 4.4 this morning, but as we can see on the globe here, there's a handful more. So we got a couple different swarming areas here in the West Coast area and along the Baja California region. Further up into Northern California here, handful of smaller quakes throughout the Bay Area. There's that one lonesome earthquake there from yesterday, 2.7, just shy of the Cascadia subduction zone. Nothing else showing up there today. Mount St. Helens area, seen a handful of smaller quakes, very small microquakes there, about a couple miles there below the surface. And that's an area that does see a little bit of swarming on occasion. Sometimes it gets up there in the terms of multitude of quakes, but right now just very small microquake activity and very minimal. Nevada region still seeing some activity. Las Vegas northward, up towards the Carson City area in a linear fashion here. And let's see what we got for Yellowstone. Anything going on here across Yellowstone? 1.4 earlier this morning, so let's double check that. Supposed to be 105 today, 108 tomorrow. They've got a dry north wind out here in Northern California. It's really killing my moisture levels. So I'm trying to stay hydrated. Not a whole lot of earthquake activity here across the Yellowstone region for now. Maybe a little spiky activity here near Parker Peak, but that's about it. Some type of network interference here that showed that little choppiness here on the graph. So that's not actual earthquake activity or anything geology related. Texas, Oklahoma, oil-filled country, getting some earthquakes out there. One earthquake in the New Madrid zone over here from last night. This could be a little small 2.5. Overnight, late last night, we've seen another 2.5 here near Tunnel Hill, Georgia. But aside from that, eastern portion of the country, pretty quiet out there, folks, for now. The Hawaii area, not a whole lot happening out here, at least according to the USGS here, but I'm going to double check that because, it's the weekend, and let's see here. Let me bring this up. Excuse me. Kilauea Volcano. I'll bring this up here real quick, hopefully. There we go. I utilize the Microsoft Edge browser because for whatever reason when I use Google Chrome, it has some issues with that specific page. Let me show you guys here real quick. It's doing stuff that it never really used to do before. And that's Mauna Kea. Kilauea Volcano. Underneath the instruments here, I mean, maybe I need to replace the bookmark with this one that doesn't have all the instruments on there. That could be why it's overloading like that. But even so, when I go and look at some of these graphs here, they haven't been popping up. Like if I check a tilt meter and click on it, it disappears. I don't know why it does that. Same for the seismograph stations there. Click on it past 12 hours and it doesn't want to pop up. So I don't know what it is. I didn't do anything different. So I've just been using the Microsoft Edge here, because when I click on seismograph station, it pops up and it's doing what it's supposed to do. So I got a setting or something that's wrong. I don't know. If you guys got any hints, let me know. It seems like a simple fix, but I can't figure it out. Anyway, earthquake activity there, very limited across the Kilauea volcano area for now. Just at a standstill in terms of the ongoing, inflation of this area. If anything, we've gone down here a little bit, stationary it looks like, and dropping here in the last couple days. But really no change here. We're not looking at any magma intrusion area, just a stationary event going on here. Nothing has changed here across this area in terms of any further escalation of what's going on below the subsurface area there of Kilauea volcano. Looks like a beautiful blue clear. I forgot that one. See how annoying that is? I mean, it's really, really not supposed to do that. When you click on something, it's supposed to pop up, right? Like this. Click on it. Voila. Look at that. Woo. All right, so, yeah, beautiful blue clear sky out there at the summit area. Not a whole lot of volcanic gases, a little bit over here across the sides, seeping through the tiniest of cracks in the ground, but that has been ongoing for quite a while. All right, let's back out of here, out of that page, and we'll check out the rest of the earthquake activity out here across the western Pacific, where we're seeing some deeper movement quakes coming back to the area of Japan, Izu Trench, and a little surface feature earthquake right there. So keep an eye on this region. Obviously, these earthquakes come and go through periods of time. It's not always active in one region. If it is, and that's obviously an area to watch pretty closely for some larger scale movement. But the cycle of earthquakes out here come and go as various areas of the plates shift and adjust accordingly here in the theory of plate tectonics. Right? Just makes sense. Taiwan southward here into the Philippines, seeing a cluster of earthquakes there today. Quite a few 3s and some 4s thrown in there. New Zealand area just staying consistent there with occasional 3s across the plate boundary. Nothing big. Deeper activity quakes here across the Tonga Trench once again. There's all that activity. Southern California southward, a swarm of movement here recently. So that's why I say keep an eye there on Southern California for some increasing activity today. It's just been quite active all around this region here. Middle America Trench as well. South America area, a lot of older quakes here on the map from yesterday, including that, there's a 5-pointer that popped off over here yesterday, 5.3. Aside from that, fairly quiet in terms of anything above the 4.0 threshold there for the South America region. Puerto Rico, chilling out a little bit, calming down. Only a couple 3s out there and some 2s. The Atlantic Ocean got some earthquake activity up here in Iceland. That's going to be around the Katla volcano. Let's go check that out there from the Icelandic earthquake site here. So actually, that's not near the Katla. Is going to be let's see. I thought the Katla was a little bit further south here, but goodness, that's a pretty decent earthquake, 4.9 around this area. Not for sure how to correctly pronounce that name, but I'm not even going to try it. But a little bit of swarming going on here around this area of volcanoes. Obviously a rift boundary out here, right? So it's cluttered with volcanoes. But yeah, that's a decent sized earthquake, not associated with the earthquake or the volcanic activity down here across the Svartsengi area. That in itself is along a separate section here of Iceland, a separate rift boundary here. But that's a decent sized earthquake up there. Let's go over here to the Icelandic Met Office and see what they say today. See what they're saying, that is. There we go. Let's see. This update was put out today. Updated hazard assessment. Um, so they updated their little hazard area here to include the ongoing eruption and volcanic gases there, air pollution and whatnot. The lava bed that has formed in this eruption has extended beyond the previous boundaries of the areas. Second, to take into account that the magma tunnel that formed on August 22nd extended further to the northeast than Zone 3 previously did. So it looks like they extended this out a little bit in terms of the hazard areas. Current inflow into the magma accumulation area underneath Svartsengi is probably equal to the outflow of the eruption. So things are going to stay consistent on the map, right? We won't see any deformation or inflation or let's see, two active vents in the north of the fissure. I can't say that right. Again, this is translated from Icelandic to English here, but we get it. Yeah, there's two active vents, northern end. Seismic activity has decreased in the last few days, and this is just kind of a simple layout here of what's going on. You get the magma chamber here underneath Svartsengi, reloading from the areas below. And then, of course, once this gets filled up here and pressurized, then it goes up here to the surface where we're seeing the ongoing eruption. Let me check out the current live view. I don't know if we're going to be able to see anything out there, but we'll check it out. Yeah, there's that. That's a huge cone out there. That's a lot bigger than it looks. Still one active vent out there throwing up some lava fountaining. This is from the Live from Iceland site. Pretty neat little site if you want to check out a couple perspectives here of the ongoing eruption. But yeah, it looks like any other eruption we've seen here over the last 8 months, numerous times, where it builds up, erupts for a couple weeks, calms down, builds up the Svartsengi area in terms of magma accumulation, then does its thing again a month or so later. It's a rinse and repeat cycle here. Here's the vertical displacement. There's our most recent eruption that occurred there back in August. Lost a whole lot of volume of inflation, right? That magma flowed over the surface areas there to create those big lava fields. And now we're just consistently steady in terms of land rise out here, in terms of inflation. So until things come to a halt at the surface, this should stay fairly stationary. Space weather activity, a little bit of M-flare movement here this morning, it looks like. Still seeing a little bit of proton activity as well across the polar regions. That's what's going on here across this map. Mainly affecting some high-frequency and low-frequency navigation and communication systems out there. Not going to affect cell phone towers, but that's limited up there across the extreme regions of the planet here, northern and southern pole area. We do have a decent chance here for some flaring, 25% chance, M-flare at 70, C-flare around 99% chance or so. And we do have those numbers matching a couple different sunspots out here that are capable of producing some stronger flares. This area down here. And a couple of these regions here looking a little bit more intense today in terms of the complexity. So keep an eye on this row of sunspots down here as they evolve and continue to face or turn into the Earth-directed view. No major roars in the forecast here for now, folks. We'll see if we can get that to change. Hopefully. There was a massive CME explosion on the far side of the sun as well this morning. Hard to say exactly which sunspot that occurred on because we'd have to look on the far side map here, but if we do that, we can see on the most recent image, far side area, it's more than likely going to be coming from 3792, 3790 area. This is the far side of the sun. Earth-facing side right here, this is what we're dealing with right now with the M-flare and C-flare activity. There's that line of sunspots, but yeah, somewhere over on the far side, I'm guessing it's this area right here produced that massive CME explosion there, directed away from Earth, obviously. We keep getting all these large explosions, and Earth is dodging them. All right, Storm Prediction Center out here today for severe weather. Not a whole lot in the forecast here, folks. Just a marginal risk for some severe weather across Montana, Wyoming area. Not a whole lot for tornado potential. That's good news. Wind and maybe a little bit of maybe some moderate hail out there across Idaho, Montana, portions of Yellowstone. So a little bit later on this evening or late afternoon, we should see these graphs stir up with noise, environmental noise there from all the thunderstorms out there. We've seen it yesterday right here. That's kind of what it looks like, not magma rolling around. This is just wind noise, thunderstorms. We'll see that again kick up. Almost looks like it's starting to kick up here in the last 30 minutes. We'll go check out the weather radar here real quick, see what we have up there across the Yellowstone area. And yeah, see? So we got a few thunderstorms popping up, and of course that matches the noise that we're seeing here within the last 30 minutes or so. And we'll see that continue as long as those thunderstorms are kicking up out there across Yellowstone. But as far as any, magma or earthquake activity, it's pretty quiet out there across Yellowstone. All right, quick glance here at the Gulf of Mexico. Been checking this for that potential tropical development here towards the second week of September here. So let's see what the models forecast here for today. A little bit of tropical development here towards the end of this week. Nothing big, just a little bit of stirring up of thunderstorms and whatnot down there across the Texas area. After that, it almost looks like that tropical system has disappeared off the weather models. Maybe something down here, extreme southern Gulf area around Mexico, but near the Yucatan area. But goodness, it's it disappeared. That's good news, because a couple models ago, you guys remember, it was showing a major hurricane hitting the Louisiana area. So it's best if that stays away. Ooh, what do we got here on the West Coast? I'm liking that. We got some type of low pressure system here. I was looking at this last night, and it looks a little bit more intense today. Looks like that rainfall is going to head into my neck of the woods here. That's perfect. I'll take it. Not a lot of rainfall, but anything is better than nothing. I mean, these next 4 days or so, basically Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday here, is supposed to be close to 110 here in Northern California. So this is I'll take it. That's nice, but that's not going to be until a little bit later on, towards the middle of next week there, it looks like. All right, I'm out of here, folks. Have yourself a good day. Got quite a few things I got to do here for the fall semester. Got to get caught up on. Hope everyone has a good Tuesday, even though it's technically Monday for a lot of us, right? Have a good one. Stay prepared, and keep an eye there on California. It's definitely got some uptick going on here across this area of the fracture zone in the Gulf of California. And it's normally earthquake activity here will coincide with whatever's going down south here as well. So we could see an uptick in earthquake activity across Southern California today. We'll continue to monitor that and, of course, report back on any uptick that takes place. Have a good one. We'll see you guys back out here a little bit later.